Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day and the Dell for the Cannon League match between Southampton and Liverpool. Both enjoying cup success, but also seeking entry into Europe by the major route, the league. The Dell has seen many a famous face in its time. You can go as far back as C.B. Fry, a great all-round athlete who played for Saints in the 1902 Cup final and for his country at cricket and football. And he'd be useful at the moment, wouldn't he? And since the war, perhaps Sir Alf Ramsey, who cut his cultured football teeth on this turf, stands out, but not too far from Charlie Wayman, a pint-sized popular centre-forward, deceptive and a prolific goal-scorer. But it's Terry Payne, with 713 league appearances and 19 internationals caps, who's provided perhaps most pleasure.
Payne. Shannon. First time wanted. Little 10 was enough for Moore to get a dig in. This is Payne, can try one, and he does! Oh, what a good goal by Terry Payne!
Well, magic days. And alongside me tonight, Bobby Charlton. Before a word about tonight's match, Bob, could you clear up the England-France match? You did say at half-time that France didn't deserve to win. You didn't mean that, did you?
No, I thought that France were definitely the better team. I thought that if England, if they defended properly, France probably wouldn't have scored. They gave a couple of bad defensive mistakes away, England, and cost them badly.
Well, you meant really they didn't earn their win, and we're now going to find out who's going to earn the league points tonight. We join match commentator Barry Davis.
And the Liverpool team, wearing yellow, are the first out onto a nice pitch, just taking a stud, a little bit of water on it, but conditions absolutely ideal. And they're going down to where their supporters are, just to the left as we look of Bruce Grobbelaar's goal. And here come the home team, led out by Steve Williams. Steve Moran just behind him, and the little mascot in front. And that's the reception they get. And on a clear, cold night, we may see quite a long way into the future of this season's championship. One match doesn't decide a title, but this one at the Dell stands in a fulcrum position. If Southampton win, they can certainly open up the race and do themselves a great deal of good. And that's their lineup that we're looking at. And it's a full-strength lineup. The main doubt was about Agbula, who's been carrying a groin strain, but he's been past fit, as has the centre-half Mike Wright, who's been troubled for some time now with his right ankle. But there's an enforced change in the Liverpool side, because Graham Souness sadly has had to go back to Scotland because his mother, who's been ill now for a couple of years, died last night, and we offer him our sympathy. But up front, they welcome back Ian Rush, who missed last Saturday, also because of a groin strain. Team captained by Phil Neal. Goes back into the fold. Kenny Dalglish, who came on as a substitute against Benfica, played against Tottenham last Saturday and scored his 101st goal in English League football. Brian Stevens of Stonehouse in Gloucestershire, who was the referee for both matches between Plymouth and Derby. And he gets underway the contest in the first division between Southampton, who are attacking the goal to our left, and the champions Liverpool. First header for Nick Holmes, and here's Agbula. Lawrence and Worthington, and Worthington jumping at his man rather than for the ball. Play for the man coming forward from the back, but not working out. There's Nick Holmes. Steve Moran, Southampton's top scorer at 15 goals. Nice atmosphere for a fixture which in the last 4 seasons has produced no fewer than 19 goals. A sequence of 3-2, 2-3, 2-all, and last April 3-2 in favour of Southampton. And he was lucky enough to be among the crowd that evening as well. Agbula, Lawrenson, Mills timed it beautifully, placed it where he wanted it to go. And Williams seemingly had more time than most. Dennis. It's typical English pace. That was a good header, and Hansen was a bit late with the challenge. Frank Worthington moving forward, taking a central position. Williams for the knock-on, and the free kick against Hansen. Well, I think there was a bit of a wise head then by Frank Worthington, who in fact made no effort to jump for the ball. Hansen did, and suddenly found himself straddling Worthington's back. So this could be either Williams around one side of the wall or Armstrong around the other. Moran and Wallace waiting in line with the right post as we look. Maybe a touch from Armstrong to change the angle. No, Williams takes it. And it came off Alan Kennedy. Covered by Kennedy, just got into the line of flight. Would have caused Grobbelaar to move pretty sharply had it gone through. That was Ronnie Whelan who got that away. Nicol. Free kick. Tripped by David Armstrong. I think those two are going to see quite a lot of each other on this near side. Rush and Wright together. And, just to the right, there was an elbow contest going on between Steve Williams and Kenny Dalglish. Kenny Dalglish, who was missing from the Liverpool lineup for 14 games, this side were only beaten on 2 occasions in that time. Williams. Holmes has made a good run from the back. Neil, the cover man again. Holmes once more. Williams. Dennis is way over this side. Worthington. That's a fine ball. Dennis faced by Nicol. Gets a good cross, which is beautifully played. Really good football all along. The pass by Worthington, the cross by Dennis, the catch by Grobbelaar. I want to see better than that. Armstrong trying to exploit the pace behind Neil then. Neil having called for the forward ball. And quickly Sammy got back to cover. Johnston. Rush. Johnston. Dalglish. Armstrong back and Agbula's clearance. Lee in his more accustomed position. Wallace coming in from his glue spot on the right touchline. Williams. Round Lawrenson nicely. Here's David Armstrong. Dennis. Well, a good play by the skipper. Hit the cross long with David Armstrong well positioned, as he so often is. Right going with rush, handball, but accidental, said the referee. Johnston. And once again it's David Armstrong on his 6-yard line. More than useful player. Ronnie Whelan. Wallace arrived just in time. And Johnston offside.
Interesting that, Barry, that no goalkeeper yet has had to make a save. They made a couple of catches, but it's the enigma of English football, isn't it, in the Football League. Full of efficiency, full of effort, exciting the crowd here because they're committed. On the other hand, rather like telling a joke without a punchline when you don't get a shot at the end of the attack. And it's efficient, it's good, it's interesting, but it's not really gripped us yet.
Southampton have a free kick about 35 yards out. 4 players in the area. Worthington got away, rolled it off the back of his neck. Oh dear, the bounce wasn't too kind to Hansen. And Worthington at the back. Williams. Reached strongly at him. Well kept in by Dennis. He would have enjoyed it. Lee. Whelan. Neil. Referee played a beautiful advantage. Wallace couldn't get a foot in. Hansen did. Liverpool unbeaten since they were knocked out of the FA Cup on the South Coast, down at Brighton, on a day when they lost Souness because of injury. Moran. Williams. Kennedy. Armstrong. Moran, good save. Brilliant stuff from Bruce Grobbelaar. Moran seemed to have an expression of despair, and it really was a first-class piece of goalkeeping by Bruce Grobbelaar. Double save from him, and all Southampton get is the corner. Good claim. He just looks to see who came in from behind, but he looks with a smile. And we've waited so long for a goalkeeper to make a save, and when one was called to do so, it was quite brilliant. Armstrong. Southampton, who trail them by 11 points, if they win, would be 8 adrift with 2 games in hand. A shot from Hansen. Made up a lot of ground. in the end, unable to test Peter Shilton. Kennedy. Neil. Lee. That's good running by Johnston, and he lets it run well. Well claimed. Good pace all the way through. And Johnston confident to let the ball run. He didn't have too much room to make the cross. Oh, well, the ball was picked up by Peter Shilton. Dalglish. Up with his right. Kennedy. Well, I don't think I'm being unfair when I say of Alan Kennedy that when he sets himself in that position, it either leads to enormous cheers or that sort of ooh that we had then as the ball is ballooned into the crowd. There seems to be nothing in between. Mills. Wallace. Moran. Worthington in the middle, so is Armstrong. Here is Wallace. This could be promising. Needed a longer cross, I'm afraid. Williams. Mills with room and time. Wallace. Kennedy. And Dennis arriving late and certainly catching the ankle of Sammy Lee. That was not a challenge of which he should be proud, Mark Dennis. And boos all around the grounds, but the referee, Brian Stevens, obviously is dangerous. One booking. Looks likely to be the only statistic of the half. And we've already played 2 minutes of stoppage time. Wright. Worthington. Beautifully done. And Wright has moved up to the far post for the return. Changed his mind. Wallace! Oh, I say! What a magnificent goal! Brilliant goal by Wallace. Lovely ball by Worthington. Fine cross by Dennis. But Mark Wright, who started it, was the fellow who got the nod down. But this was brilliant. And we have very much more rewarding and satisfying statistic than the booking. The goal for Southampton, scored by Wallace, started by Wright, with considerable involvement of Worthington and Dennis. And we've had 3 minutes of stoppage time. Danny Wallace comes off all smiles. He saw more of the ball as an attacker than anybody on the field. A lot of it for him was frustrating, but in the end he had a moment I think he'll remember for quite a long time. His 4th goal of the season. Worthington with a lovely turn and left foot which found Dennis, who crossed the ball for Wright to head back and Wallace to put in with an overhead kick.
Well, a goal to be remembered and savoured and enjoyed. It certainly brightened it up tonight on a cold evening pub, didn't it?
Oh, it was great, that. I was just thinking, trying to think of what I was going to say at half-time. Most of the play seems to have been in midfield. They've been very, very aggressive. It's been a tough match. And maybe at home it doesn't look so good, but I think if you've played the game, you appreciate good marking, good tackling, closing people down. And both teams have done this very, very well. And I did think that if anyone was going to score, it was either going to be a really exceptional player coming from deep from midfield like Steve Williams has done a couple of times, or something like that. One little break in the box, an overhead kick, and little Danny Wallace there who scored the goal. I mean, I was just thinking the ball's been like a hot potato all night for him. He's never been able to get hold of it. It's been bouncing away from him. He must have been driving himself mad with frustration.
He didn't have a good game at Blackburn, did he? And we were a little sorry for him on that night. But it's good to see him just get that confidence from that goal.
Well, it was great. The game needed it. Now Liverpool will be in at half-time. They'll be thinking to themselves, well, we've got a lot to do now, and the championship they're looking for. And Manchester United supporters will all be rubbing their hands with glee, I've no doubt. But nevertheless, it's brought the game to life, that, although I didn't think it really needed it. It was a really good game, very aggressive, although there wasn't a lot of chances about.
The most exciting moment, apart from the goal of that half, I thought, was the incident where Grobbelaar somehow, entwined with Frank Worthington, got the ball over the top. We've got an unusual camera angle on that just to see exactly what did happen. There it is now. You can see Moran turning. There's his little scoop shot. It drops down. Now, what happens now? Worthington tries to get his right foot to it, but Grobbelaar blocks it with the back of his hand and scoops it over the top. Quite extraordinary. Well, that's rather lovely. That's one of the benefits of modern television. We can actually see that from that camera angle. Yeah. It makes that man's work for the night really worthwhile on its own, Bob.
Of course, yeah, but he's a good goalkeeper, Bruce Grobbelaar. In fact, both goalkeepers on show tonight, you know, have done nothing wrong. Very capable, very professional. And they've not had a lot to do, but what they've done is they've done very well.
Yeah. Yeah. What's wrong with Liverpool? They seem to be losing a bit of confidence and edge and a bit of imagination missing, or what is it?
Well, it's hard to put your finger on it. I do. Last year, I think at the same time, they were about 11 or 12 points clear at this time of the league. Maybe they're feeling a little bit edgy. I think really, though, that Graham Souness, because he's missing, you do take a lot away from Liverpool because he's very precise, you know, and he's got a lot of imagination. Yeah. Kenny Dalglish new in the side after a big and really serious injury, and looks as though he's taking a bit of time to get to match fitness again.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Of course, and he'll come good, there's no question about that. But at the moment, the build-up just seems to be a little bit slower and more predictable than it has been in of the Liverpool sides that we're used to seeing.
And the tune you're hearing is When the Saints Go Marching In. If you've joined us late, you've missed a really fine goal scored by Danny Wallace, but doubtless we'll give you the opportunity of seeing it later in the game, unless there are many more during this second half. Liverpool side first out onto the pitch. Began this match leading Manchester United by 2 points with 11 games to play. And it's worth making a comparison with last season, in spite of the performance of Ian Rush with 34 goals. Kenny Dalglish, of course, being missing for 14 games, has got 10. When you compare with last season after 31 games, Liverpool had a lead of 15 points. Here's the Southampton side. In 5th place, 11 points behind, 2 games in hand. Important week for both sides. Liverpool, who go to Lisbon to play Benfica with just a 1-goal lead. Play them on Wednesday, and of course at the weekend they play in the final of the Football League Cup. Southampton have a midweek fixture against Sheffield Wednesday here in the quarter-final replay of the FA Cup. So much can be decided in the next 7 days. It's Peter Shilton, who had to collect pretty sharply by his near post, but other than that has not been much employed. Right, Whelan, Kennedy offering on the left, a little bit short. Whelan. Interesting that both Rush and Wright misjudged the flight of that ball. Rush missed it completely. Wright got it going the wrong way. Johnston and Kennedy. Johnston takes it in the end. Sammy Lee. That's not a bad try. It's about 2 or 3 yards wide, no more. And he didn't have too much time because they were charging at him. Williams just inside, but the turn has allowed defenders to get back. And in the end, he plays a nothing ball. And the free kick has been given at a moment when Steve Moran was certainly not at his sharpest. And I suggest that somebody's made the point to him from his side, judging by that expression. Lawrence. Neil. Dalglish. Rush. Flag stays down. Right there, I would have thought, in spite of the appeals by 1 or 2 Southampton players. Williams. And he wasn't going to waste any time, and he certainly found some space in the centre of the Liverpool defence. The left foot shot a little hurried and away. Lee, Robinson. Galloping. Robinson has Rush in the middle, Whelan on the far side. But he didn't know he had Mark Dennis coming back on the blind side. Play by the full-back, although some determination from Michael Robinson, who's looking for a place in the League Cup final side. Johnston. Moran. Mills. Hanson. Whelan's the player down the middle. Rush on the left. Robinson, beaten to it by right. There's Johnston now on the right side with the departure of Nicol. A little dangerous, but he gets away with it because he was quick enough, Steve Moran. What producers may play it now, and you've got 3 men over. Here's Worthington. Williams in the middle, Wallace on the far side. Corner is all they get from it. What a remarkable piece of play by Steve Moran, who in fact turned with his goal behind him and inviting the challenge, but then just when it looked as though it was coming, his pace took him away, and it was a lovely run down the middle, and there was a moment then when Southampton had 3 men over. All they get is a corner, and Armstrong would like to see the ball from it, or would he like it placed on the near post? Where is Wright? That wasn't a good header out by Kennedy. Free kick against Dalglish. Home crowd hugely enjoying the fact that Liverpool, at this stage of the match, are very much the second best team on the field. There is only 1 goal in it. We're halfway through the second half. And Southampton been the better side, only have a 1-goal lead. And Agbula forcing Chilton to do something that I don't think he's done previously, and that is dive on the ball between the 2 posts of his goal. Kennedy. Mills. And that's a lovely weight on that. And Gobala didn't need to come. Hansen got there first. Mills looking for the ball again. Williams, that's a defender's ball. Dalglish. Whelan. Agbula placed himself correctly. Holmes covered behind him. Rush. Robinson. Blocked by Armstrong. And the linesman's flag is up on the far side, and the free kick will be given for a bit of elbows. And if he's not careful, it will also be given for a bit of mouth. Well, 1 or 2 people getting a free view of the match on those flats behind Peter Shilton's goal. And somebody's got a problem with the light, it would look, unless they're trying to give us a message. There's somebody out on a balcony. It's quite a cold night, but not wearing the coat. Armstrong, Worthington. So it's not surprising that Southampton have such a good defensive record, the way that Agbula times his challenges, that Holmes and Armstrong have this knack of tucking in and giving the cover when it's needed. There's a nice balance about the side. 20 minutes left. Here's Kennedy. The only problem is that with only 1 goal in it, and if it stays that way, the pressure will begin to grow, as it always does when you're playing Liverpool.
Yes, it does, but there's a tremendous atmosphere in this ground about this match. They're so excited that they might be toppling the champions, and I must say, Liverpool are still trying, but do seem to lack that moment of imagination to break down the Southampton defence. Very impressive Southampton tonight, so many good performances all round. And if you remember when Liverpool was so much the stronger physical side against Newcastle, Southampton have matched them for physical battle tonight, and in football skill as well, and that says something. Even Williams, in comparing him with Hogle, which is the point you made, Barry, I think the thing that he has is that he is a fierce tackler, and he competes very sternly for the ball and has the imagination and the craft as well to open up defences. A good all-round player who's settled down temperamentally and has proved it tonight in this very, very fierce battle. My goodness, I think the referee's done so well. It's a match that would test any referee, and he's emerged absolutely splendidly from it.
And Steve Williams captaining a side which leads by 1-0, but on the balance of play they're worth more than that. Here's Lee. Whelan. A silly place to go away, a free kick, and an unnecessary one. And I must say, I think some of the comments that are warming the air to the referee are also unnecessary and not a good example, particularly when the referee, as Jimmy was just saying, is in such control as this man is. Or was that intended? Hasn't moved anybody out of the wall. Comes to Kennedy. Oh, didn't he make it look easy? It got a deflection. It swerved, and it went as though the gloved hands of Peter Shilton contained 2 magnets. Dalglish. Here's Williams. Got to be quick. Foul by Phil Neal. It's a match that Mr. Stevens has had to be at his best. Williams, I think, then lost a little bit of concentration when the ball was played to him by Williams. I should say Wallace lost concentration when the ball was played by Williams. Grovelar with the punch. Robinson didn't look. And quite often Liverpool players don't need to. Perhaps that's a bit of a summary of the match, that sort of thing should go wrong. Well, you can't win them all, Michael. Robinson, nice kill. Nice hold. Finds Dalglish. Oh! It's a pretty strong elbow into the chest from Kenny Dalglish. And the free kick. Dalglish, no mean competitor, but it was a pretty mean action then. And that is an England-Scotland confrontation. But there's a smile below what the eyes are saying. There's no doubt that it was a very, very strong elbow into the chest. Dennis. Whelan. Southampton have pulled all back bar two. Dalglish. Steve Moran has done a fair bit of cover. And here's Mark Dennis. Williams wasn't the best of balls. Didn't really give him anything to feed on. It's a corner. Wellington in his usual position on the near side of the 6-yard box from the kicker's viewpoint. Armstrong arriving late. Away by Lawrence. Armstrong again. Moran. And he was clearly onside. And he came forward from the back, did Armstrong. And he was there after the thing had been taken, and Moran moved forward to head wide. By Dalglish. Dalglish obviously felt that there was something made of that. He took a friendly swish at him and very nearly missed, because there wasn't too much there to stop the hand going through. I know the feeling. Mark Dennis to take. Wellington a right to run from the right. In the middle is Steve Moran. And the shot came from another Steve, Williams. In the process. Right. Neil. Alan Kennedy has taken a knock and clearly was in some pain then. Rush, appeal for offside, the flag stays down. And Wright forced to concede the corner. And Alan Kennedy has clearly badly hurt the left knee. And he's not making too much fuss about it. And Mr. Stevens suggesting he should hobble off. So, the corner is to be taken. And Shilton, who came towards the near post, was perfectly balanced to stand in the centre of his goal. But he hasn't been tested tonight. Williams. Puckett, just offside. Neil. Rush. Dalglish. Certainly not at his best, Kenny Dalglish, after this long layoff. And Alan Kennedy has come back on again, but as you can see, it's quite painful, the left knee. Dalglish having a few words. Current Footballer of the Year, and the PFA Footballer of the Year to be voted for again, or to be awarded again next weekend. Just a little time off the field with Ronnie Moran. 6 minutes left. Free kick to Southampton. Holmes. Dovetail so well. Holmes and Dennis on the left, and Armstrong everywhere. Hansen, and again that's a good break. Dennis endeavouring to force him wide or make him go the long way round. Agbula gets the nod. Whelan. Good determination and typical from Mills. And Dalglish and Williams met pretty solidly then. Dalglish got the worst of it. Oh, well taken by Wallace. Hansen trying to ease him away, which he does. Cross is too strong. Puckett needs help. Sees Dennis. Wallace! Extraordinary header, really, because it seemed as though he wasn't sufficiently far wide. But he got it very much off the side of his head, and it flew past Bruce Grobbelaar. That's a second for him. A second for Southampton. There you are, he had to get up. A lot of height having come forward. And it gave it such a vicious angle. Well played by Holmes. There's another to have had a fine match. Puckett. Wallace near post. Off Hansen for the corner. Under 2 minutes remaining, but over a minute to add for the early stoppage in the half involving Ian Rush. And they're really jumping up and down behind Bruce Gomelar's goal. They've enjoyed their evening here, the Southampton supporters. Second year running, they would have beaten Liverpool, and indeed they've got a draw up there and a win here. Minute of the match left, and the result which will delight not only Laurie McMenemy but Ron Atkinson and Manchester United, because they will have a chance of going top if they beat Arsenal tomorrow at Old Trafford. And it certainly opened up the race, and we're going to have a very interesting last quarter to the League Championship. Right. And I wonder too what Howard Kendall, the manager of Everton, feels about this Liverpool performance, whether it gives him hope or whether he fears that maybe they will be on the receiving end of Liverpool being stung by this sort of reverse. Benfica to come in between, of course, in Lisbon. Wallace. Williams. And we're now playing the time allowed by Mr. Stevens for stoppages. Bula finding Steve Moran. And he might come inside and let one go. Goes both ways. And Armstrong couldn't find the touch. He was in the right place yet again, but really for him, couldn't find the finishing touch as Moran came outside his man, on the floor, only needed a poke, but he couldn't find it. Really good night for Southampton, and in particular for Danny Wallace. Two spectacular goals, one overhead kick, one header that went off the side of his head and really flew past Bruce Gomelar. And it's given Southampton a thoroughly merited victory from a very, very fine team performance. Liverpool by no means at their best. And it's a result which really opens up the closing stages, the last quarter of the League Championship. Southampton 2, Liverpool 0.
Well, what excitement, Bob, and news has been made. We've seen Liverpool beaten in the Championship.
Yeah,
wide open.
Well, it's so unusual because they don't ever play badly, Liverpool, and they haven't really played badly today. They've gone at the end and they've tried to bring out a little bit of something, overcommitted themselves and given another goal away. But first-class Southampton defence. I mean, everything that Liverpool's thrown at them, they've been very, very tidy, right at the back, Agbula. And they're a confident, buoyant lot, Southampton, at the moment, and the confidence really was the difference between the two teams.
Well, confidence it was, and the confidence of one man, really. The man's named Danny Wallace, and tonight he's the toast of Hampshire for 2 moments of splendid opportunism.